If you are just joining us, you're watching entertainment news on Channels Television. And in the world of fashion, Senegalese mathematician turned fashion designer Diarra Bossou uses numbers and equations to create intricate and bold designs for her growing brand. Mathematical equations may not seem to go hand in hand with fashion, but Senegalese designer Diarra Bossou believes otherwise, and she's done the math. The multidisciplinary artist and former Wall Street trader can usually be found going through mathematical equations and algorithms that will go into the designs of her textiles. At her studio in Silicon Valley, San Francisco, Diarra plots lines and curves into shapes that are then hand-painted based on a color scheme that she decides on.
So that flower that we saw earlier can turn into this, to that, just by changing the variables. In this case, is theta, going from 0 to 12 pi.
Diarra has dreamt of being a fashion designer since she was a little girl. That dream unexpectedly became a reality when she joined a mathematics program at Stanford. She was inspired to use math and graphing equations to capture her creative process, finally marrying her two passions, mathematics and fashion design.
In all my free time, I would be drawing these parabolas and these lines and all these things we're learning and trying to ask myself, why should the kids care? And in the process of doing so, patterns would come up. So I'm graphing, doodling, and this is kind of what I would do in my free time when I'm in the train, when I'm sitting waiting at the restaurant. I'm just drawing, doodling, doing all these lines. And then when it would finish, I'd be like, wow, this is amazing. But then I can't create it again because it was all by hand on a piece of paper. And I have like hundreds of pages of papers like this.
Despite her lack of experience in the fashion industry, Diarra forged ahead and launched her fashion line in 2015. In September 2019, she won the coveted Designer in Residence at the San Francisco Fashion Incubator.
Each shape can be represented by a mathematical equation. And now when you put all these equations together, you can create lots of shapes, which is nothing new. I think the part that makes this different is that when you can actually code it all and generate it with an algorithm, meaning that a process telling the computer, graph this line, graph this equation, find where they intersect, make it blue, do this, do that, do that. Now the computer is drawing for you, but you have to sell it. I'm not using machine learning and AI yet. Right now I'm still writing all the algorithms myself.
Diarra claims she's ahead of the curve, even in an industry currently being disrupted by technological innovation. One strong empirical example is the advent of online fashion shops that exploit artificial intelligence and data analytics.
I feel like we're already in the future because nobody else in the industry is doing what we're doing. Like, this is a brand new concept that came out of, I wasn't planning to innovate or disrupt anything, but I think it happened as a result of trying to solve a problem, which for me was I need to sleep, I can't teach and design at the same time. That was the problem I was trying to solve. Now it's solving a bigger problem of I have thousands of options now and I can decide what to make before even it's ready. So I think in terms of innovation, this is allowing me to be quite ahead in terms of cost savings. I produce in a fraction of the time and I produce 100 times more in terms of design ideas. And I like to say ideas because I don't actually print the fabrics until I know I need them. So I'm able to know from a customer preference standpoint, I know what customers want because I can generate so many ideas and test them live every single day without having to spend anything on production. And then I can produce what is needed. So from a sustainability standpoint, we don't have wastage.
Her designs have been featured in the Fashion Bible, Vogue magazine, as well as other fashion magazines such as Elle and Glamour, amongst others. As an African woman in an industry where Black creatives and designers still face roadblocks, Diarra says she wants to use her newfound recognition to celebrate the work of those who are yet to be recognized.
Because people like me don't get celebrated much in the industry. And when I have that opportunity, I want to make noise for all of us. And that's the goal. That's the goal of the work I do. That's the purpose of, and that's why it's so important for me when I talk about algorithms. It's like, yes, but we're merging algorithms and tradition. We're not just algorithms and that's it. I come from a place that deserves to be celebrated, and it's the core of who I am, and it's the core of what I do.
The Diarra Blue brand recently launched its first artwork collection during quarantine. She says she wants to keep telling stories celebrating her African heritage while innovating by using technology sustainably.